guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Melissa. For those of you who are seasoned veterans, hey, hi, welcome back. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. My goal for 2023 is to finally get this channel to 100,000 subscribers. So if you could please help with that goal, I'd really appreciate it. The setting is a little different today. First of all, I'm sitting down because I figured we're doing a sit down. So let's actually sit down and talk. I haven't done a chit chat sit down video in a million years. It is crappy outside. There's a massive snowstorm going on. I literally just dropped off Luca to school and we were like, she was the happiest kid in the world. She's like running and she's like, oh my God, this is the best day ever. And I'm like trekking behind her with the hood being like, oh my God, it's so bad out. Anyways, I figured it's a cozy day, so let's just sit down, chit chat, and cozy talk. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing kind of like a full disclosure wrap up. A lot of you have mentioned or noticed that I've lost some weight, and I thought I would give you guys a little like run through of what I did. I also think it's super important to do videos like this kind of just like once in a while, just to kind of put it all out there, because I think social media really does show your best foot forward and everything that like kind of like the end results, but you don't actually talk about how you got there. And I think it's really important to kind of put that out there to see I don't know, it's real life, you know what I mean? I feel like more and more social media has become a place where you think everybody is just perfect, and we're definitely not. So I think it's really important to show you guys like how I achieve these goals with my body, with I guess anti-aging I'll bring up as well. Everything that I've done, basically treatments that I've done, from my face to my body to eating habits to alcohol consumption, we will target it all in here. I did a Q&A on Instagram and you guys did ask me some questions, so I will go ahead and answer them. Whoops, I almost dropped my phone. I will go ahead and answer them, but I will also elaborate a little bit more and kind of do a little run through of what I have done on my body. Let's start up close on my face. So for my face, what have I done? I have done Invisalign for my teeth, so they are nice and straight now. If you guys are OG followers, you remember I had a few crooked teeth at the bottom. Invisalign has corrected that. I still have a few months left on my bottom, the trays, but I honestly feel like my smile now compared to before has really changed. They also opened up my smile a lot. I thought my teeth, I mean, I've had braces twice in the past, so that's why I was very anti doing it again. But a friend of mine owns an Invisalign clinic and she told me, she's like, Mel, we'll get in, get out real quick. She's like, it's such a shame to have like literally 4 crooked teeth. So we fixed it. We expanded my smile. I really do feel like fixing my teeth has changed my overall appearance, and I am not mad about it, to be honest. So teeth is the first thing. I have filler in my lips. I go once a year for like a full refill, but then like 6 months in, I'll go for like a Cupid's bow touch-up. So I just did my Cupid's bow touch-up, I want to say a month ago, and before that I hadn't been for, I think it was 8 months. We had checked in my file. I don't know honestly if in a few months my lips are going to be due. I feel like the filler has really kept nicely. If you guys remember pictures of my lips in the past, I always had a very large bottom lip. I don't really fill my bottom lip. I had just a little bit on this side to kind of even out because my lip was a little bit smaller on this side. But I've always had a very large bottom and very little top. So I focus mainly the filler on my top lip versus the bottom. I do Botox. I've been doing Botox since my late 20s. I am an avid Botoxer. I go quarterly. I love Botox. A friend once told me online, if you really want to get hate on the internet, admit what you do as aesthetic procedures, and then you'll really see all the people that get really upset about things. But I feel like nobody's really honest about this, and I don't really understand why. I truly believe it's a very natural thing to do, and I do also believe that if you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you want to do it, do it. Like, you do you type of mentality. That's kind of my vibe about medical aesthetics. You do it or you don't. It's up to you. I personally would only go down the non-surgical route, but again, that's me. If somebody else chooses to, do you. I am very much like everybody should just do whatever makes them feel happy. For Botox, I have been doing it since my late 20s. I really feel it's made a difference in my overall skin health. I feel like my skin looks very moisturized. It's very like, I don't know, it looks plump. It looks really healthy, especially in winter months right now. Like, I feel like I have like weird dry patches going on here. So I do Botox on my crown. I do my glabella over here. I do my eye, and I do, that's it. Yeah, that's what I do. I do my eyes, my here, and my glabella. In terms of filler, I do a little bit here just because I have, like, you know, the dent here. My doctor calls it the allergy dent because I have allergies. I had like a little bump here and we just fill it up. So it's very little. We just do a little bit here and I do a little bit on the jawline right here to prevent that like jowl. So to kind of have like a nice clean jawline, I do a little bit of filler here, but it's not very much. It's very, very controlled and I do it once a year. For face, I also do Morpheus 8. I've done twice. It is amazing for skin, but pain level to me was a little bit much. The results were absolutely beautiful. Morpheus 8 is basically the vampire facial. So they do micro needling across your face. And then with the micro needling, they'll then take PRP, which is a blood draw, and they take out the platelets from your blood. So they divide the blood from the platelets, and then they take the platelets and put them on the micro like injections that were on your face, and it kind of rebuilds the collagen, it rebuilds elasticity. I'm a big believer of the treatment. I'm very versed in medical aesthetics and I've seen so many before and afters and I was like, wow, I need to try this treatment. Thing that I do quarterly also on my face, I do microdermabrasion. I love it. It is possibly, I don't do traditional facials anymore. I just do micros now and I love it. It's a facial that they go in and they just kind of like suck out everything with like a little vacuum and they infuse liquids and like serums into your skin. So I will do the anti-aging one and I just like, it goes in and like you come out of there, your skin is glowing. It's like glass skin and it's a treatment I've been doing for ages. I've been doing micros quarterly for possibly 5 years, and it's a treatment that I truly love. Another treatment that I do regularly, I'd say quarterly, except not in the summer when I have a tan, like I'll push it, but I always do 4 BBLs a year. BBL is like Forever Young BBL, not but BBL. It's a treatment, it's a laser surfacing. It helps with rosacea, it helps with hyperpigmentation, it helps with all that just to kind of like even out everything in your skin. One feedback that I get when people meet me in real life is they're like, oh my God, you have beautiful skin. And to be honest, I do think that BBL is probably the biggest difference in my skin. So for my face, that's all I've done. I mean, it does sound like a lot. It is maintenance, but my goal is to really just like kind of try and halt aging without going down the surgical way. I don't want to do the surgical route. I would rather do non-surgical and non-invasive and kind of like, I mean, do my treatments but age gracefully at the same time. But if I can slow that clock down, girl, I will. Now let's talk body. What have I done for my body? So pre-baby, I'd never done anything. I've never worked out. I do not have the type of body that is naturally thin. I need to watch what I eat. I have been watching what I eat since I'm 12 years old. I definitely have that Italian gene in me where I am very small, very curvy, and if I'm not careful, I can easily pack on 20 pounds like this, and 20 pounds on me looks like 50 pounds on anyone else. My face looks puffy, I get bigger around here, my boobs become out of control. I always stay flat in terms of my stomach, but my arms got thicker, my thighs, my butt, my boobs. I kept the same proportions, just on the larger scale. So I am a normal girl with a normal body. My goal is not to be stick thin. I love that look. I love that aesthetic, that like wafy 90s look. I think it's beautiful, but it's not my reality and it never will be. And I've come to terms with that. I mean, I was a teenager in the 90s where Kate Moss was the level of what you're supposed to look like. There were no Kim Kardashians back then. There were no curves. There were none of that. And it really was difficult for me. I never really saw anybody like me on TV until probably the mid 2000s, which is where like the curves were embraced and the big boobs, and it was a very different body shapes. I feel like seeing that kind of made me appreciate my body a lot more, and it made me a lot more confident because everyone I knew was like stick thin, tall, like everyone I was surrounded with was like that. So I definitely want to preface this by saying this is a normal girl's body situation and weight loss. So Pre-baby, I was always just careful with food. I did Weight Watchers for years. Some of you probably remember my Weight Watchers video from back in the days, and it was something for me that worked incredibly. I quit smoking. I smoked, yes, gross. I quit smoking back in 2007, and I probably weighed, while I smoked, probably 110 pounds. Keep in mind, I'm only 5'2", so 110 pounds is probably like where I normally sit at that age in my 20s. I was like between 110, 115. And post quitting smoking, I gained and I went up to 150 pounds, which for my shape was, it was a shock for me, to be honest. I was like, what is going on? And I gained it really rapidly. But when I quit, I quit. Like, I am the type that, like, when I mind myself that I'm gonna quit smoking, it was like, done. I will never smoke another cigarette in my life. It's a horrible habit. Stop it right now, which I did. But I did gain the weight. The weight gain that comes with quitting smoking definitely came with it for me. And that's when I started doing Weight Watchers, and it was really, really, really efficient for me. I lost the weight. I went back down to about 115 pounds within, I'd say, probably 8 months. It was a bit challenging, but I relearned how to eat. I thought I was eating healthy. Turns out I was not eating healthy. It also coincided with the time where I was on my own. I was working like a crazy person. I was traveling all over the place. I literally lived on a plane back then. I was a sales rep in the fashion industry, so I would be cross Canada, cross the US, I'd be doing Europe trips, I'd be in Asia. So it was like a huge, it was challenging because you're eating out constantly. You're eating in airports. You're not taking care of yourself the way you should. I didn't have time to work out. So Weight Watchers was really a nice way for me to kind of like learn how to eat on the fly while respecting your, I guess, diet. So when I did the weight loss journey with Weight Watchers, I was really, really fit. Then I got pregnant, and with Luca, I gained a ridiculous amount of weight. That is probably why there are very few pictures of me pregnant online. I stopped looking at the scale when I got at the doctor's office. I think I was at 35 weeks, and I weighed 185 pounds. I was like, I can't look at this anymore. I pulled a Kate Hudson. I gained, I believe, probably 70 to 75 pounds. And everybody kept telling me, don't worry, you'll give birth and you'll get out of the hospital and you'll go home and you'll be 25 pounds less. And that is not what happened. I gave birth to Luca, and I came back home and I had lost 4 pounds. 4 pounds. So I was in panic mode, and I was breastfeeding. I breastfed Luca for a year and a half. So I was very into breastfeeding, which definitely helped with the weight loss post-baby. It was phenomenal for me, but I was still in panic mode. I'd never seen my body that way. I didn't recognize myself. I looked in the mirror and I was like, what is going on? So I got back on Weight Watchers. I was on Weight Watchers for postpartum breastfeeding. So you're allowed to eat more calories than a normal Weight Watchers person, which you definitely need, because when you are breastfeeding, you are literally burning so many calories, and I don't know about you guys, but I was starving. No lie, I could literally eat possibly anything that was put in front of me. So it was really good to have Weight Watchers to kind of control I'm very militant with myself. Like, when I tell myself you're gonna do something, I do it. I don't mess around. I don't give myself excuses. I'm very, very, very determined. And when I have a goal, in French, je fonce. Like, I don't mess around. So I knew that if I put myself on this, I'd be very stringent and I'd be good. So I'd say 5 months later, I was back down to 110 pounds. It was a crazy journey, but when the weight started shedding, it shed quick. But it took me I'd say about 4 or 5 months. And at that mark, I had noticed my stomach did not go back to where it was. I had cellulite on my stomach. I had like that layer of cheech that I'd never had. And I didn't work out. I admit it, it's probably a bad habit of mine that I don't work out. It would probably be really good for me, but I never have, and I definitely didn't back then. And so I decided to do cool sculpting for the first time. So I did my abdomen. I did 2 rounds on my abdomen. I was so happy with the results, and I was like, okay, this is great, we're good. And for a long time, I was very happy with that. And then I decided to do cool sculpting on my arms, because my arms, as you guys have known, have bothered me for an eternity. So I did the under of my arm, which made a huge difference. I did 2 rounds on my stomach and 1 on my arms. This was back in 2017. I'd say late 2017. I was happy with the results. I honestly, Cool Sculpting really responded to my body, and I was super happy with the results. Continued on with my life. And I think in 2019, there was a promo at Vic Park for Cool Sculpt and M Sculpt together. It was like a program that they offered that they were launching as like kind of like a package deal. And I was like, well, I really want to try M Sculpt. And when I went to go see the technician, she's like, you know what? You could totally do a round of Cool Sculpting and then do M Sculpt. It would really tighten you up and really just like chisel your abs, because she's like, you have a really good base of ab muscles. So let's just like really chisel. So I was like, okay, you know what? That's a good idea. So I did 1 more round on my abdomen and 1 more round on my arms. That last round on my arms made me feel so much more confident, because pre that round, I still wouldn't go in spaghetti straps or tank tops. Now I do. Overall, I did 3 rounds on my abdomen and 2 on my arms. And then I moved on to M Sculpt. So when I started doing M Sculpt, it was just M Sculpt on the abdomen, and it's the equivalent of doing 20,000 sit-ups in 30 minutes. So you do 4 rounds back to back, and then you see the results in like 6 weeks, but then you have to maintain the treatment. So I think it's 6 months, I go back and I do a treatment. Since I started doing M Sculpt, they since moved to M Sculpt Neo, which adds RF, which has radio frequency. I think it's called that, radio frequency, but it's RF with your M Sculpt, and it also burns fat. So as you do it, you're burning, I think it's 30% fat, 20% muscle gain. It's an unbelievable treatment. And then since they've added M Sculpt Edge, which does your flanks, so it does your side, and my waist is pretty small. So instead of having to do M Sculpt Neo on the front on my abs and M Sculpt Edge on my flanks, I get to just do the flanks one. So it kind of wraps around and they touch here because I'm petite. So I get to do everything at the same time, and it also has the RF. M Sculpt is something that I do quarterly, I would say. So M Sculpt is something that I do quarterly to maybe 3 times a year. It's something that I maintain. It's how I have my abs and how I look so fit. It's definitely, I give that to M Sculpt. Another thing that I do on my body is laser hair removal. I love laser hair. I have done, my entire body has been lasered, and I just go back for like my kind of touch-ups. That is another thing. I figure if I'm gonna talk about all the things that I've done to my body, let's just talk about it now. So I did laser hair removal from literally my armpits to like the hair on my toes type thing. Like I am lasered. And I love it. It's game changer. So forward to 2020, where I got separated and then consequently divorced, and COVID hit. Literally, I was like, what is going on? I had to change completely the way we were eating. I was like so bamboozled because I didn't cook pre-COVID. We would just eat pretty much all meals out. And with Weight Watchers, for me, I knew which restaurants to go to, what to eat. It was very easy. But then COVID happened and all the restaurants closed. Very few stayed open. A lot of like the neighborhood restaurants that I go to closed. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So anyways, I started ordering food from different places, and I gained, oh my God, guys, between the like divorce blues and COVID blues mixed with like, oh my God, what are we gonna eat? I gained 20 pounds. Slowly, but it happened. I am not the type of person that when I get unhappy, I lose weight. When I'm unhappy, I balloon. I eat whatever I want. I live my best life, but my body does not like it. By the beginning of 2022, I kind of just looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, what did I let happen? How did I do this to myself? I didn't go back up to post-smoking weight, but I went up to like 136 at one point, and I remember being like, oh my God, how did I do this to myself? Like, I need to get back on track. I'm a dedicated woman. How did I let that slippery slope happen to me again? I know how hard it was to lose the weight the first time around. I'm like, I will not be defined by this. I'm getting into action. So I'd gone back on Weight Watchers, and by, I'd say March 2022, I had started gaining more weight being on Weight Watchers, and I was like, okay, this is not working for me. I need to try something else. So I I talked about it on stories actually with you guys, and a lot of you told me try Noom. It changed the game for me, so that's what I did. I got on Noom. I love you guys, by the way, with your DMs, and I love that I can be open with you guys and we can have these types of conversations. So I did Noom based on recommendations, and it changed the game for me. Right away, I think within the first 2 weeks, I lost 5 pounds. I was super motivated. I was super happy. The summer was rolling around again, and I was like, okay, it's time to get back in booty shorts and bodysuits. Like, I want my body back. By 2022, that like divorce slump was done. Like, what divorce? New me, new life. Let's do this. By the summer, I was back down to 120 pounds. So I'd lost 16 pounds and I felt really good. I was like, okay, I look great. When we went to Miami and I was like posting bathing suit pictures again, like I had not posted a bathing suit picture since probably after giving birth. And I was really confident. Like I was like super happy, and it's continued since then. Like I've lost more. I'm back down to 115 pounds and this is my weight. Like I feel very fit. I feel very healthy. I don't want to lose more. I probably could. I could probably go down to like 105. Being 5'2", I could easily get there. But I'm super happy the way I am, and I love my shape right now. Like the curves are defined. I have abs. My legs look really, really nice. They look muscular. I basically am doing Noom and I walk. So Luca and I live in the city. I try to do everything on foot. I try to avoid using my car. When we go to the grocery store, we go on foot. When we go run errands, we're on foot. We do everything on foot. So I do between 10,000 and 12,000 steps per day. There are days that like if we go to like the old port and walk around, I'll do the 20,000 steps. Luca's also a really good walker, which I love. But that is pretty much the only thing I do. I watch what I eat, but I do eat a little bit of everything. Now we're gonna get into some of the questions that you guys had. I'm sorry if this video is so long, but I love these types of chit-chatty videos, and they were due. If you had to choose one Medi-Spa treatment for body contouring, which would it be? It would be Emsculpt Edge. I truly love it. If the edge didn't wrap completely around with me, I would say Emsculpt Neo. I think it's more important than the Flinks. I don't know. But Emsculpt, Neo, or Edge for sure. Hands down, if I could just do one, that would be it. Next person, so you follow a meal plan. Well, I do Noom, that's it. I don't do a meal plan, I don't. I eat whatever I want, but I make sure that it's kosher with Noom. Have you tried other body contouring devices? The Emsculpt, Sculpture, do you still get Emsculpt? Okay, well I answered that in there. I'm very happy with it and I love it. How do you retain yourself from eating every time you're stressed? I don't know, I still do that too. My biggest thing that I've learned, and I actually learned this in therapy, it had nothing to do with eating habits. My therapist told me if you crave something, have a bite of it and then let it go. That's it. Don't let the craving control you. Just succumb to the craving, take one bite, and then put it away. So you feel like you still got that like treat that you wanted, but you didn't continue eating it. You just self-control. So that is something that I definitely had an issue with, and I still kind of have an issue with. That's why I gain so much weight when I'm unhappy. But no, take a bite and put it down. Calorie-wise, Starbucks order, hot and cold. I got this a lot. So my go-to cold drink is a green tea, a venti green tea lemonade, unsweetened. I literally get the giant tub, it's 15 calories. That is my go-to cold drink. For a hot drink, I drink a grande non-fat cappuccino, and I switched from latte to cappuccino because it has less milk. What do you eat in a day? Follow me on stories. You'll pretty much see what I eat every day. For breakfast, I eat the same thing every single day, which is why I don't show it. I just have whole wheat toast, 2 of them, with wow butter, which is the alternative to peanut butter because I'm allergic to peanuts. So I just have wow butter, and that's pretty much it. And then for lunch, I'll usually do like hard-boiled eggs. I'll do tuna with rice. I'll do Caesar salad with dressing on the side, and I kind of just dip here and there. I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat a ton of vegetables. But for dinners, follow me on Instagram. You'll pretty much see what I cook for Luca and I every single day. I am very blessed with Luca being a restaurant baby because she eats anything. She'll try anything. I never had to make different meals for her. Whatever I eat, she'll eat. I make it a little bit different. Luca is not a big fan of sauces, spices, and stuff like that. So I make her the same meal that I make for myself, but I don't season. And she has a weird thing about foods touching. So I just make sure everything doesn't touch. But she'll eat the same thing in me, just like a a deconstructed version of it, I like to think. How do you count your calories? So use the Noom app. It counts everything in there for you. How many coffees do you have in a day? What's your Starbucks order? So I have one sugar-free Red Bull every morning, which I know. I don't need to hear it. I know it's bad. It's what I enjoy. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything. Leave me with my sugar-free Red Bull in the morning. And then I usually have a cappuccino in the afternoon. In the winter though, I'm too lazy to walk to Starbucks, so I usually just make it at home. I have an espresso machine and I just make a non-fat cappuccino at home. Go-to snack, I do not snack. That is my one thing. If I'm starving during the day, the most that I will reach for is an apple. I do not snack. That is something for me that my body does not respond to. The second I snack, it becomes a slippery slope, and that's where I see the weight creeping on. What made you stop using Weight Watchers? It didn't work for me anymore. I don't know what happened. It did not work for my body anymore. How do you stay so consistent? I do believe it's a personality trait of mine. I am very militant with myself. I am very hard-headed. I'm very strict with myself. My expectations of people are high because my expectations for myself are higher. I'm tough on myself, and yeah, I think that's my success. Is if I set myself a goal, there is no way in hell I will not reach it. So somebody asked me, what various treatments do you do to keep the weight off? There is nothing to keep the weight off. That's the thing. So M-Sculpt and everything, yes, it builds the muscle, it helps burn the fat, but it can come back. You know what I mean? It doesn't prevent it from coming back. So the only consistency that I've had for weight to maintain is eating. It's good eating habits. Have you ever had to lose more than 20 pounds? Yeah, girl, I did twice. So 2007 and 2020, escalating into 2022, both times were over 20 pounds. Can you provide your current height and weight? I'm 5'2", 100. This morning I was 116 pounds. And this is also something controversial. I weigh myself every morning. And I know that with Weight Watchers, you're not supposed to do that. You're only supposed to do a once a week weigh-in. That's how I maintain it. I just feel like I weigh myself in the morning, and it kind of tells me like, okay, can I cheat a bit today on what I'm gonna eat? Or is this gonna be a very healthy, like veggie packed, protein based day? How many calories do you eat per day? I eat between 1,400 and 1,600. Noom fluctuates with what you can eat in a day, and it's between 1,400 and 1,600, I've noticed. How much alcohol do you drink a week? That's a good question. I have a glass of wine every day. I have a small glass of Prosecco every night with dinner. I truly love it, and I know a lot of people think that that's not good, but like, I've always done it. I'm Italian. We grew up that way. There was always a bottle of wine on the table. I only drink wine though. I don't drink anything. I don't drink hard liquor. I don't do cocktails. I don't even really drink wine anymore, to be honest. I really just drink Prosecco because it's 80 calories a glass. And that's my thing. That's pretty much what I do. Is I have a 5-ounce glass of Prosecco every night with my dinner, or while I'm cooking dinner, I will have a glass of Prosecco. What's your go-to dessert? I rarely eat dessert. I think that is my key. I also have a nut allergy, so it's almost impossible for me to eat dessert. I have a sweet tooth, but I do not succumb to the sweet tooth because it's a slippery slope. Again, with cake and candy, I can't just have a bite. I literally will eat the entire cake. So I just don't eat it. I don't start it. Nope, you will not eat dessert. There's probably nuts and you'll probably go into anaphylactic shock. That's my mindset. How do you eat so little without being hungry? I guess you watch my stories. I don't know. I don't feel like it's very little. I get a lot of comments that I eat like a bird. I don't feel like I do. I never feel hungry. I always feel like I'm eating what I need to eat. Luca and I eat about the same portions, but I'm not a big eater, I guess. But no, I think I eat a lot of proteins. I eat steak, I eat meat, and it fills me up. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm eating very little. I don't feel that way. Okay, the rest of the questions are a little repetitive, but I feel like I've really gone in depth in this video. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope you guys grabbed a cup of coffee or something while you guys were watching it. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Make sure to leave me any questions down below. I'll make sure to check the comments on this video and answer everything I can. I don't have anything else to say besides I love you so, so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys. Mwah.